of Oklahoma 5A. We've got 16 teams coming in, teams like Broken Arrow with Super Tough, Muskogee, Midwest City's coming over, and we're really looking forward to it. This is our second year in a row to host it, and we're excited about having it at our place.
What time does it all start on Friday?
Starts at 12 noon on Friday for an afternoon session. We'll have a night session at 6 o'clock. We start again at 12 noon on Saturday, and then the finals will be at 6 o'clock Saturday night at the Frank Earl Gym in Jenks.
And the teams that do well here or win this go on to the state, isn't that right?
Advance straight on to the state. There is no area type thing in wrestling. They'll be at the state tournament next Friday and Saturday, and that will be held at the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman.
Now help me, I'm so confused on all the basketball. Are you guys hosting anything basketball-wise?
We don't have a regional right now. We have been contacted about possibility of having an area and maybe the first round of the state at our place.
All right, well, Tommy, thanks a lot, and enjoy the wrestling this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we will. Thank you.
All right, Tommy Burns, the athletic director out at Jenks High School. You got to get out and see some of that wrestling. There are some great high school wrestling teams around this area. Now, Dr. Kathy Burden, from the superintendent from Union Public Schools, joining me, and welcome out to the basketball game tonight. A great crowd, isn't it?
It's a great crowd. A lot of fans have come out for this game.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Union. You've got a bond election coming up here in the next few weeks.
Yes, Mike, we do. March the 10th. We hope that this kind of crowd comes out to vote for the bond issue. In Union, we're still a very fast-growing community. As a matter of fact, we have on the bond issue a brand new elementary school that will be built at about 71st and Garnett. And we also have land that needs to be purchased for our 12th elementary school. We have some buses that need to be bought, and we also have textbooks and a lot of equipment and materials for our buildings to make sure that they're always up to date and as modern as they should be.
Well, being a Union parent myself, my child goes to Darnaby, I'll definitely get out and vote because that stuff is very important for these kids.
That's right. Well, you know how fast-growing our community is, and we have beautiful facilities, and it comes from our patrons coming out every single year to vote for those bond issues.
And that is March 10th, right?
March 10th. We're marching to the year 2000.
All right. Appreciate your time, Dr. Burden.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kathy Burden joining us. That is March 10th. Coming up, we've got the tip-off for the boys' game. JV and Don will be back with Hoopin' Tuesday night right after this.
We love to watch TV. So when I heard all this stuff about how satellite TV is better than cable, I thought, great. Not so great. For instance, additional outlets. With cable TV, they don't cost much at all. With satellite TV and a separate receiver for each set, that could cost a bundle. And get this, we're responsible for service and installation. Our cable company has been providing guaranteed service for years. Satellite TV? No thanks. We'll keep our cable.
Cable TV, the best value in home entertainment.
You've heard about TCI's digital cable and want to know what it's all about? Digital cable provides you with more channels and convenience at a nominal price. We're excited to show you what digital cable has to offer. 36 additional channels, more pay-per-view options, and the Preview Navigator, where you can view the program guide at your own pace. For February's question of the month, here's what we want to know. Are you interested in digital cable? Call one of these numbers to cast your vote. Remember, your opinion counts.
Experience celebration. Feel inspiration. In February, Showtime celebrates Black History Month by bringing you people and stories that will move you, excite you, and inspire you. Powerful original pictures. Exclusive Hollywood hits. Entertainment that proves anything is possible. Call now to experience Showtime and Black History Month.
Call 665-0200 and upgrade to Showtime for $4.95, a savings of $8.
TCI's Hoopin' Tuesday nights, featuring the best of Tulsa area high school hoops.
Get on the floor, pump it up with the big ball. On the floor, here we give you more and more.
First the girls, then the guys. It's live. TCI's Hoopin' Tuesday nights.
Ho, 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 let's go.
Welcome back to the Union Redskin Gymnasium, to TCI Cablevision of Tulsa's Hoopin' Tuesday night. Don King along with J.B. Haney and Mike Ziegenhorn from Oklahoma Channel 8. Jenks and Union, it's two state-ranked teams. We also want to welcome our radio audience on KQLL Tulsa Sports Radio, AM 1430. Well, we should have a good one here. The 11th-ranked Trojans have won 4 in a row and find themselves at 15-6 overall, 10-4, and tied for second in the conference against the conference champion Union Redskins, who have won 7 in a row, 17 up and 2 down, the 13-0 in conference play.
Kind of interesting with Union, Don. Preseason ranked number 2 in both the Tulsa World and the Daily Oklahoman. And what are they ranked now? They're ranked number 2.
And the Trojans, I believe, were a preseason rank as well. We'll check on that as we move along here from the Union Redskin Gymnasium. When we look at these two teams again, JB, this Union team impresses me as I've seen them this season, because they're predominantly a guard offense, with Kevin Ritter, number 24, a three-point specialist who's looking for his 200th career tray tonight. Steve Gary kind of leads this offense, but they can go inside as well.
You know, when you get right down to it, the strength that's developed for Union inside, I think, is the big key. But it all starts with guard play. And that time-old question, if you started a team, would you start it with a big postman, or would you start it with a good point guard? I would start it with a good point guard.
For the Jenks Trojans, they are a predominantly guard-oriented offense with their two better ball handlers, Matt Frazier, the conference's leading scorer at 17 per game, and 6'1" senior Brett Butler.
Senior, 6'1". 6'1" senior, number 11, Brett Butler. 6-foot junior, number 31, Joe Lord. 6'2", junior, number 41, Robert Rademeyer. 6'3", junior, number 44, Justin Roy. The coaching staff, assistants Bobby Brummett, Wes Caleb, Jim Mason, and their head coach, Scott Paddock. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the cheerleaders.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
And now,
I like to move it, move
ladies
it.
and gentlemen, 19-2, third rank in 6A basketball, your Union Redskins. 6'3" senior, number 11, Greg Dean. Number 13, 5'9" senior, Steve Downtown Gary. 6'5", junior center, number 15, John Willie Shepard. 6'2" senior, number 20, Osric, deep in the woods. Number 24, 5'11" senior, Kevin Ritter. And the rest of the Beast of the East, your Union
Coach Tim Stacy.
Both teams have been announced. Union leading the league in scoring at 74 points a game. 5th best in defense at 54 a game. So they are averaging, dominating their opponents by 20 points. For the Jenks Trojans, 3rd best in the league in offense at 57 points a game. 4th best on defense at 49 a game.
And Don, before we kick this game off, we certainly want to wish the very best to Lance Barlow, assistant coach here at Union in football and soccer, and Benny Dixon, the athletic staff, the student body. Lance is home ill, and we just want to wish him the very best and get back to school. Lance, they miss you tremendously here at Union High School, and be looking forward to your return.
Again, a winning streak will come to a close here in this one. Union's won 7 in a row. Jenks has won 4 in a row. Both teams are involved in that Jenks Invitational Tournament. Union lost to Central by 2 points, 70-68. They haven't lost since. The tip is controlled by the Union Redskins. Jenks finished 3rd in that tournament, by the way.
And Jenks opens in a man defense, Don. I kind of thought maybe they would play a zone, but they've started out in the man.
Shepard gets the shooter's touch. Right baseline 4-footer. And Union leads 2-0. Union dominated this Jenks team on the Jenks floor. We saw it about a month ago. Jenks, though, is playing much better since then.
And Union opens in the same type of defense, a good tight man-to-man defense.
Out front, 31, Joe Lord, 2-year player for Jenks. Frazier, the leading scorer in the corner, back to Butler, off to Lord. In the middle, Justin Roy, number 44 for Jenks. He has the basketball in the left wing.
You're going to find Jenks are going to handle the ball, because when you play a team that's averaging 74 points a game, you're not going to be in any big hurry to shoot it. You're going to get the good shots, and Scott Paddock does an excellent job of coaching that.
Rademeyer, the basketball, backdoor cut. Butler all alone. Missed the layup. Rebound, Osric Wood. Number 20 for Union, Woods has it. He's a guy that can play inside, outside, shoot the 3, rebound with the bigger guys. Ritter on the fadeaway. Dean, a strong rebounder for Union, can't control it. Rademeyer does. He pulls down a big one for Jenks. And Joe Lord stops at the baseline.
And Scott Paddock was up that time trying to hold him back a little bit. You know, he doesn't want him to walk it up, but he doesn't want the transition to get out of control. Because, again, when you're averaging 70 points, you can shoot the basketball in the transition.
Jenks trying to get back, work their way back to the state tournament where they were a year ago in Norman. What a Cinderella season it was in '97 at the state tournament when you had 3 teams from the Frontier Conference in the state tournament. Broken Arrow, Sapulpa, and Jenks. Broken Arrow winning the title over Memorial. Frazier cut off. Jenks still with the basketball. 2.5 minutes gone in the game. Union leading 2-0. Traveling called on Justin Roy, or is it? No, a foul called by Johnny Johnson.
That was called on John Shepard, and that was just a real good pivot move in there by Justin Roy. He gets the ball in there deep and makes his pivot and draws the foul, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight as long as this ball game is evenly balanced.
Roy misses the free throw, rather weak on the first one. Scott Paddock took the Jenks Trojans to the state finals his first year, replacing Joe Holliday, who is now an assistant for Roy Williams in Kansas. And Roy cuts the lead in half for Jenks. He hits the second free throw. Union with the ball and a 2-1 lead. 5:22 to go, first quarter. Dean gets it inside, makes the basket, and gets fouled.
Now, when you look at the coaches here with Rudy Garcia and Scott Paddock, why, 2 good, I think, very, very good young coaches, and they're a credit to both schools. They're lucky to have coaches like this that's dedicated to the game and teaches the discipline and everything that these 2 young coaches pass on to their kids. And, you know, it's always fun working games where Scott Paddock and Rudy Garcia are coaching.
Dean misses the free throw, and an opportunity to three-point play. Union has the lead, though, 4-1. Well, Scott Paddock, 17, I think it is, 17 years in the Jenks system, replaced longtime Coach Holliday, so a lot of stability at Jenks. Rudy Garcia is trying to stabilize the coaching situation at Union after quite a few turnovers. Bob Cleveland for a while, and then he left to get back into the college coaching. They went with Mark Tucker for a few seasons. He left to go back to Kentucky. Then they brought in a young man from a coach from Texas who lasted just a few weeks, and he left before he ever coached a game. So they came within the system and got Rudy Garcia, who coached the younger kids in basketball and also coached baseball. Loose basketball on the floor, out of bounds, belonging to Union, who leads 4-1, 4:27 to go, first quarter.
Matt Frazier, he's tied for the conference scoring lead and has been around that mark all year long. And I tell you what, Woods is doing an excellent job on Frazier, just really staying right with him.
Some people really grumbling about Union not getting a #1 seed in the eastern side of the state. Ritter, three-point bomb off the left wing, no good as it hits the top of the backboard. And we approach the midway mark of the opening quarter. And the Trojans, before a packed house here at Union, trailing by 3, but yet have only 1 point on the board midway through the first quarter. Frazier hasn't been able to put up a shot, almost threw it away, saved by Rademeyer. Butler penetrates in and then brings it back out. Rademeyer from 10 feet. Rebound and a strong one by Justin Roy, and he gets fouled going back up.
And that's excellent position that Justin Roy gets in there on the offensive board, and you can see that he just really explodes right back up and kind of jackknifes to get the basketball, but just can't get it to fall. Obvious the Jenks Trojans are tight in this game.
Second team foul on Union, both against Shepard. He takes the seat. And 25, Michael Johnson, the 6'4" junior, steps in. Free throw by Roy, rattles in and drops through. Justin 2 out of 3 for his 2 points. And the next. Back iron, no good. Saved by Rademeyer. The Trojans have a chance to tie the game or take the lead with a three-pointer. Butler out front. Jenks down 4-2 here in the opening quarter.
And Union drop back now into a 1-3-1 zone.
And the tip by Dean, the steal by Johnson. Ritter to Woods. Woods goes all the way up, gets fouled, and goes to the line.
That's a good look at the Union transition. Kevin Ritter taking the ball down the side. And he really flips it across to Woods, and Woods goes right straight to the glass. Draws the foul, had great body control in doing so.
Second foul on Jenks, both against Justin Roy. At the line, Woods. Free throw is good. Woods is a left-hander, 6'2" senior. And he got them both. So it's 6-2 Union, leading by 4. And the Trojans, Butler gets it across. Butler off that state championship football team. Outstanding wide receiver and cornerback, 2-year starter on the basketball squad.
And Union that time in a full court man press, but once Butler crosses the timeline, they drop off and trap him and get him right here in the corner. He was lucky to be able to bounce it off of a Union player in order to retain possession.
Matt Frazier, league's leading scorer, trying to get it down low. He hasn't got a shot off yet. They're looking for him. He has it out front between the circles. Butler hasn't shot the ball much this season. Hasn't scored like he did last year. Frazier, who came along at the end of last season, misses that one off the side of the backboard. And here comes Union. Steal by Butler. Boy, he picked that off like a cornerback with an interception. He comes down, draws the foul, and missed the basket. Great effort by Brett Butler, the 6'2" senior.
You know, Jenks says they've missed about 3 crib shots in there. They could actually be up in this game. Here you see Butler just getting in the seam, splitting 2 Union players and going up. Great control right there, but again, just couldn't quite get it down.
Brett, normally a very good free throw shooter, but he misses that one poorly. And he missed that one. Mike Zingenhorn tells us he thinks Brett, and you can see Brett messing with his left eye. Must have got poked in the eye. No wonder he missed the free throw so poorly. 2:20 to go, first quarter. Union with the ball in a 4-point lead, 6-2. Ritter the three-point bomber into Johnson. Back to Gary. Osric Woods can shoot the three. He tries one right wing, no good. Rebound, Butler. Butler on the run. It's a 2-on-2. Butler all the way in. Goaltending on Michael Johnson of Union.
And again, some very, very active transition by the Jenks Trojans. And you see Butler, just once he gets past Gary, he's going to go with it and lays it up there. And then suddenly, the big high flyer comes in there, Michael Johnson, and gets a goaltending violation.
Union now leading by 2. Gary, great pass inside, and Michael Johnson gets the basket.
And Don, that's why the inside people at Union have improved. It's been the passing there of Steve Gary, the passing of Kevin Ritter, the outside people looking inside and giving those guys the good opportunities to score.
8-4 the score. Minute 20 to go, first quarter. Jenks with the basketball. Butler to Rob Rademeyer. Justin Roy, nothing doing. Frazier gets his hands on it. Woods has been all over him. Matt turns down the three. Into Roy, off the glass. No good, out of bounds. Last touch by Jenks.
You know, they're going to have to hit Matt Frazier. He came off of a pick in that last sequence and was right in the paint and was open, but didn't get it. And you're not going to get that many wide open looks to give it to a cutter against the Union defense, and you really have to take advantage of it.
Jim Stacy, one of the assistants, barking out signals to the Union squad, Kevin Ritter. 50 seconds left. They set a double pick down low for Ritter. Frazier cuts him off. Ritter gets it now, shoots from the corner for three, short. Rebound off the side by Frazier, and Ritter reaches in from behind and commits his first personal foul.
Kevin Ritter can shoot the basketball on a turnaround as good as any player you'll ever see, Don. And to me, that's one of his strongest points, where he will come across his back to the basket and just pass the three-point shot line, and boom, he just pivots and puts it up and normally hits a good percent of that.
Players can do that much better now than they, than they used to. We always used to have to dribble the basketball or bounce it once to shoot it.
Well, when you were playing, if you did that, you'd be on the bench.
Yeah, well, players got out of that habit, didn't they? They don't have to feel like they have to put it down and set up and shoot like they used to. Much more accustomed to shooting off the pass. 15 seconds left. Butler out front with Justin Roy. That was the fourth team foul, by the way, on Union that Ritter committed a moment ago. 10 seconds. Butler out front. Passes to Joe Lord. Penetrates for Frazier. Open for the screen. Shoots the three. No good. And a foul on Union. Checking into the game is Scott Roberson. And he pushes off the screener. That's Rademeyer. And that'll be Scott Roberson's first foul. That'll be the fifth Union team foul. No shooting foul. Union.
And that's a last minute, a good play by Jenks, a last minute setting up Matt Frazier, and he gets out and gets the shot, but his screener draws the foul, so he'll take it again.
Lord for three at the buzzer, no good. Stick up, no good by Frazier, and the first quarter comes to a close. At the end of one, it's the second-ranked Union Redskins leading the 11th-ranked Jenks Trojans 8-4 as we continue with Hoopin' Tuesday.
We love to watch TV. So when I heard all this stuff about how satellite TV is better than cable, I thought, great. Not so great. For instance, additional outlets. With cable TV, they don't cost much at all. With satellite TV and a separate receiver for each set, that could cost a bundle. And get this, we're responsible for service and installation. Our cable company has been providing guaranteed service for years. Satellite TV? No thanks. We'll keep our cable.
Cable TV, the best value in home entertainment.
I watch school TV. Me too. Me too. School TV is cool TV. I want school TV. Me too. Me too. School TV is cool TV. I want school TV. Me too. Me too. School TV is cool TV.
Watch School TV on TCI channels 19 and 20.
School TV is cool TV.
We're back after a very low scoring first quarter, 8-4 Union leading Jenks. We're getting ready to start quarter number 2, and we're going to talk to a guy who has not been very busy tonight, thankfully, Dr. Keith Stanley from EOC, and you're here at every game. I've seen you at football games, basketball games. You're everywhere, aren't you?
Well, we're to a lot of the events here at Union. I've covered Union now for several years, and it's a great school and a great program.
You're orthopedic doctor and trainer. I mean, you work on these kids when they get hurt, right?
That's correct, and sometimes we have to do it at the games.
You also work with the cheerleaders and other sports, don't you?
That's right. Yes, we do, and it's a big school with a lot of athletes, so sometimes it gets to be pretty busy.
All right, Dr. Keith Stanley, JV and Don, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Mike Ziegenhorn. Union has employed a couple of new players. Jack Marlowe, number 55, into the game into the middle. 6'8" sophomore for Union. Butler puts one over the glass, over Marlowe, and up over the glass. And he's got 4 points. He leads Jenks scoring. 8-6 the score. Union has led throughout this game. And a foul underneath. I think they'll call this one. Well, we'll see. They're going to call it against Butler. His first.
A lot of discussion going on around Jack Marlowe, the big sophomore here at Union. You see the pitch go into him and Butler drawing the foul, but the 6'9", 270-pound sophomore, people think is a great prospect, and I would agree.
Besides Marlowe, Osric Woods, number 20, is checked back in for Union. So you got Ritter, Woods, and Scott Roberson, 14, as the 3 guards. And the 2 frontline players, Michael Johnson, who takes a shot, no good. Marlowe, who almost got the rebound. Instead, it's Woods with the follow. Ten to 6 Union. Out front, Butler to Roy, to Joe Lord. Lord is a junior. He played quite a bit as a sophomore getting to the state tournament. This pass knocked away. Look at Butler's, Rademeyer save it to Butler underneath. And Brett's reverse layup wouldn't go, but he drew the foul.
And that is some great hustle in there by the Jenks Trojans, getting on the floor after the basketball. And of course, the coaching staff from Union thinks there was a foul, but or traveling violation, but Butler comes up with it, and he again has great body control.
We'll see how Brett does on these free throws. After he bricked the first 2, he gets that one. With the easy, he has 5 points. Brett's dad, a football player at TU, isn't that right, Jim Butler?
Jim Butler, and a great athlete at Skytook High School. I still think in the Tournament of Champions, he should be among the top scorers. He played in it 3 consecutive years.
Is that right?
He was always the leading scorer with Conley Phipps' ball club up in Skytook. I've got to research that one.
Jack Marlowe out front, backdoor cut to Ritter, reverse layup, tipped, and foul. I didn't know Conley Phipps coached at Skytook. Man, you're taking me back.
Oh, well, Conley Phipps started his career at Skytook High School, and now Conley the second. He's an assistant coach at Texas Christian University. And in fact, I saw Conley down there when we were there with TU a few weeks ago.
The foul on Joe Lord, his first. 4th team foul. Ritter trying to draw another foul, can't do it. Scott Robertson with a big offensive rebound, and then Marlowe can't handle the pass inside. We'll go the other way with Jenks down by 3 at 10-7.
I think Kevin Ritter is showing us that he can penetrate with the basketball. You know, sometimes people have said, well, he's a great outside shooter, but he can't take the ball to the rim. Well, he's taking it to the rim tonight, doing a good job.
Boy, think what Conley Phipps could have done. Conley Phipps is second with a 3-point shot.
And I tell you, when Conley Phipps Sr. was coaching, if you held that thing more than 15 seconds, he was on you. He wanted to shoot the basket.
I mean, Conley Phipps, when he played at Cleveland for his dad, he was putting up, what, 30, 40 points a game?
Oh, yeah.
Without the 3-point shot. 5:40 to go, first half, 10-7. Union has the lead. Jenks has the basketball, though. Rademeyer, top of the key. Joe Lord to Butler.
And Union in a tramping 1-3-1 zone defense.
Butler from the right elbow, or rather Frazier from the right elbow. Good rebound, Roy. Didn't want to challenge Marlowe, so Frazier to Rademeyer, whose dad played basketball at TU. And Rob Rademeyer has his first basket for the Trojans. They close it to 1, 10-9. Roberson loses the ball, then crashes into Roy. No call. Joe Lord tries to put Jenks ahead, and you heard the basket. The backboard gets slammed by Michael Johnson as he skied to make the block, but commits the foul.
I'll tell you, Michael Johnson can sky, can he? He plays, I kind of was trying to coin a phrase, that's trapeze basketball. A great steal and a great penetration by Matt Frazier. He can push the ball down the floor with the best of them.
Roberson takes a seat, as did Johnson, who commits his first personal. Michael, of course, one of the best football players that will be coming out next fall. Free throw is no good by Lord, but it's lost by Woods, and Lord gets it back for Jenks. So the Trojans have another crack at it after the miss on the 1-and-1. 7th team foul, by the way, on Union, and so the Trojans are in the bonus with 4:50 to go first half. Down by just a point, 10-9. Roy at the baseline, no shot. Back out to Butler. High post Rademeyer. Frazier for a triple, way off. Rebound by Greg Dean. That's his forte on the glass. Greg Dean of Union, whose dad, right in the middle of your screen there, president of the Union Booster Club. Gary back into the game. He penetrates, dishes off for Woods, who loses it out of bounds. And it's turned over to Jenks. 22nd timeout will be called by the Trojans, Scott Paddock, who visits with former TU player Wes McCallum. And so we'll keep it here with 4:21 to go before halftime. What's Scott Paddock want a 22nd timeout for?
Well, I think he's trying to get the ball a little better shot than what Matt took. You know, he wants to play it slow. He wants to take the good shot when you get it. And sometimes that's real difficult to get over to the kids. So I'm sure he's looking at that aspect of the game and still trying to handle the half-court trap. And I think both teams do an excellent job on defense. They both go back to the zone. They're trapping out of it. So he's just wanting to get a few things clear.
The JV boys game earlier this evening went to Union 58-41, and if you missed the girls game, you missed a dandy. It was Jenks holding off Union 48-40. Brett Butler against the pressure in the backcourt. He's in trouble and traveled with it.
You got to get rid of the ball once you get into a 2-on-1 situation. Why, Brett's got to get rid of the ball. There's an open man somewhere.
Well, I think his complaint, Brett Butler's complaint, was nobody came to help me. Union with the ball and a 1-point lead. Woods wide open to Johnson underneath, over Frazier and lays it in. Michael Johnson off the bench with 4 points. Butler inside. No, didn't get it. Gets it back. Spins on Johnson. Johnson blocked it. Grabbed by Dean, who lost it. Butler gets it back for the 3rd time. Trojans are out scrapping Union here in the 2nd quarter. And it's keeping them in the game. They're down by 3. Butler against Gary. Joe Lord against Ritter. Out front to Roy. Guarded by Johnson. Frazier out front. Woods is on him. Three-pointer would tie the game. Instead, they go down low. Roy, Frazier, left-hand layup. He got it over Woods. Nice pass. Woods was expecting some backdoor help and didn't get it. Frazier has his first basket of the game.
And, you know, that shows you the versatility of Matt Frazier by hitting that with his left hand. Most players will go with their strong hand. Had he gone with his strong hand, he would have had it blocked. So he did a good job holding off and taking a weak hand and laying it up.
High post, Johnson. To Gary, turns down the 3, penetrates, drives in, has it blocked, gets the basket to go, and a foul on Jenks. Wow. Oh, now they're going to call the foul, though, on Union. Let's see. Are they going to call it on Gary? I guess they are.
And I believe it was Zeke Anderson in there. No, it was Rademeyer that just really set up and took the charge.
We were blocked out, but it was Rademeyer who stood his ground, takes the charge. 18 foul on Union. So Jenks has the ball back, down by 1, 12-11. That was some circus shot by Stephen Gary.
Union mixing their defenses up, back in a man defense now.
Joe Lord out front for Jenks. 2:15 to go first half. To go first half.
The Union student body chanting, boring, with the Jenks maintaining possession of the basketball.
Now the Trojans are passing around. Butler penetrates, gives to Roy on the baseline. Roy pulls up his dribble after one, gives to Frazier alone on the baseline, in and out. Rebound Dean, and he got fouled. Reaching in Rademeyer of Jenks. That'll be the 15th foul on the Trojans. Rademeyer's first. 12-11. The Redskins leading the Trojans by 1, and this game mirrors the first game, the girls' game. Remember, it was Jenks blowing out Union in that first game. Well, the Union boys blew out Jenks in the first game that we saw. Both teams turn it over, bad passes. And so Union gets the ball back.
You know, again, Don, we were talking about the Kelly-Webster game. I think Scott Paddock has come in here with a great game plan for Jenks, realizing that maybe he can't go head up with each one of these Union offensive players, and I think they, that score 70 points a game. So he's playing it the way he thinks he has a chance to win.
Johnson double teamed and still gets off the 8-footer at the low post. Johnson off the pitch for 6 points. 14-11 Union. Their biggest lead was 4 on 3 occasions. They now lead by 3. 55 seconds left first half in a very low-scoring game. 14-11 Union. And we're under a minute to go first half. Joe Lord out front. 35 seconds. Butler penetrates, now backs up to Frazier, guarded by Woods, left wing. They're isolated. Frazier turns down the isolation. Dribbles back at half court. Looks to Scott Paddock for direction. 20 seconds left. Frazier dribbles from one side to the other.
This is a cat and mouse game.
Rudy Garcia is yelling instructions to his team. 10 seconds left. Rademeyer has it. Double teamed off the Butler, who penetrates. He'll have to take the shot. 5 seconds left. No good. Offensive rebound in the stick. Back by Rademeyer, who closes it to 1 before halftime. Rademeyer with 4 second quarter points. And Union takes a halftime locker room lead of 1 point, 14-13, as Hoopin' Tuesday continues here from the Redskin Gymnasium.
Well, Don, that's a great first half by the Jenks Trojans to stay within 1 point. And when you're that close, even though it's a low-scoring game, you're still doing an excellent job of putting your team in a position to win the basketball game.
Just slow down pace. Favors who?
Well, it favors Jenks, because I think if you just match up and you try to get into a transition game and your offense has been averaging about 57 points a game, you're not going to beat someone who's been averaging 75 points a game. So I really think Scott has done the best he can do to prepare his team for it.
oldie but goodie. Got to be funky.
Union High School, Pom Pom.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at halftime here at the Redskin Gymnasium. Don King along with J.B. Haney and Oklahoma Channel 8's Mike Ziegenhorn. And your halftime score, again, a rather low-scoring game. Union 14 and Jenks 13.
Satellite TV, hundreds of channels, better than cable, sounds great. Forget about it. First, the guy tells me I need all this hardware. Ka-ching. Then there's installation, another $200. No problem. Then I find out satellite systems don't carry local channels. What's up with that? I watch local news, sports, and weather twice a day. And get this, with satellite TV, the same channels I already have with cable could actually cost more. Satellite TV, no thanks. I'll keep my cable.
Cable TV, the best value in home entertainment.
Some of my friends, they call me extreme. They say I watch every game, and I know every score. My wife informed me that I went to over 100 games last year. And I just told her on Tuesday nights I'll be reporting live from the TCI High School basketball game of the week on Channel 9. And I told her how important it is to cover local sports.
And I told him it's time to do housework.
Mike Ziegenhorn Sports, weeknights, right after his chores on Oklahoma's News 8.
Since 1914, the Young Women's Christian Association has reached into the heart of Tulsa with innovative programs that help the young and old, women and men, girls and boys, and people of all religious faiths. Today, the YWCA of Tulsa offers affordable services, including licensed daycare, before and after school childcare, water aerobics, fitness programs, job counseling, citizenship services, and much more. The YWCA of Tulsa, a network of resources for your family.
If you enjoy helping people, TCI has an excellent career opportunity for you.
TCI's customer service representatives are responsible for most of the company's contact with the public.
Right now we have openings on many shifts with good base pay, sales incentives, and excellent benefits.
If you're customer-oriented and are looking for a full-time position, this may be the job for you.
For a complete list of all open positions, call the TCI job line at 459-3690. Your future looks bright with TCI.
There's your halftime score. Ought to be the end of the first quarter, but it's halftime. Who's that favorite, JB? Jenks or Union?
Oh, it favors Jenks. As long as Jenks can stay within one or two possessions, well, you've got a chance to win. And last time we saw them play early in January, why at Jenks they kind of moved up and down the floor, and we saw that the winner was overwhelmingly Union. So I think they're approaching it in the right manner, just as long as you can maintain control and just keep the discipline that you come out to do it this way, and you're going to try to get the job done. And of course,
look at the numbers
on the other
here.
hand, that Union wants to get the basketball and speed it up if they possibly can.
Look at the numbers here. Jenks 29% from the field. Union better, but only 13 shots, 6 of 13. No three-pointers yet in the game. Only 5 attempts between the two. Free throws. Look at that. Jenks 3 of 9 from the line. Union 2 of 3. And Jenks owning the boards, which I find a little bit surprising. Turnovers not matched, and 18 fouls for Union compared to 5. Here are your scorer leaders. Butler with 5, Rademeyer 4. Now look at Matt Frazier, the conference's leading scorer at 17 a game, and he's only got 4. Or excuse me, only got 2 here at halftime, but Union's not much better with regard to their top scorers either. Michael Johnson off the bench with 6, Woods 4, Dean and Shepard 2 each. You don't see Gary or Ritter, the 4th and 6th leading scorers in the conference, even on the board yet.
Well, when you only score 14 points, well, there's not going to be too many of them to go around, but I have to think that the two guards, and we're talking about Gary and Ritter, will come through and start putting some points on the board for Union, and I don't think you're going to keep Matt Frazier with 2 points for Jenks either. But again, it's just going to depend upon the approach that Scott Paddock and the Trojans take in holding the ball.
Some action of the first half, a very tough first half. Scott Roberson at one time left the game after he drove in, lost the ball, and then bulldozed over one of the Jenks Trojans. No call on that particular play. And then Butler at the end of the first half with a miss with 5 seconds left, but Rademeyer with the stick back, and that pulled Jenks to within 1 at the first half buzzer. Union again leading the conference. They clinched the conference championship last Thursday with the victory over over Bartlesville, but it is Sapulpa and Jenks battling for second place in the Frontier Conference, and Broken Arrow having a nice season under Coach Larry Shackelford at 9-5, and then the rest of the league. Is it a problem, Coach, for some of these bottom-level teams to have to face the upper-level teams in the first round of the playoffs?
No, I think it could be an advantage for you, Don, if you really approach it the way that, hey, they beat us twice in conference. They're not going to be prepared for us, and one of the hardest games in the world is that third game that you play in a playoff game after you've beaten the team twice in conference play.
Yeah, and a good point of that was 2 years ago when Sapulpa, a very high seed, knocked off a number 3 seed Jenks, and that momentum carried the Chieftains into the state tournament, I feel, a year ago. There's a look at a good sign, and we wish the best for Lance Barlow, assistant coach here, soccer and football for the Union system, who is ill right now. We wish him the best of luck, and as JB alluded to earlier, wish him a speedy recovery and get back here to school soon. Union again clinching the conference championship, their first outright conference championship after sharing the championship with Bartlesville a few seasons back. Let's take a look at the 6A boys ranking. Putnam North #1. Again, the controversy here with the regional seedings and whatnot. Union #2 in the state by both papers, but Edmond North got a regional on this side of the state, and Edmond North is the #1 seed. So if Union wins their regional, Edmond North wins their regional, Memorial and Hale win their regionals, Union would face Memorial for an area championship, and then one of the top seeds from the East, which would mean maybe the two better teams from this side of the state. Some feel Union and Memorial. One of those would go in as a #4 seed or #3 seed from the East.
Well, one thing for sure, Don, there's no easy road to the state tournament. There's no cupcakes, and every year when it's drawn up, there's going to be complaints and arguments and, just a feeling like that somebody has not been treated fairly, but it just boils down, if you're good enough, you're going to make it, and especially with the second chance, you might go in the back door through the loser's bracket, and if you do that, it's all the same, and I think the Activity Association overall does an excellent job with the many different teams they have to draw up brackets and trying to please everyone. Everyone wants a break. Everyone wants things to go their way, and they don't want to have to earn it. That's been true from the time I first started coaching until the present time.
Jenks Trojans under Scott Paddock, hoping to come off with a big win here. Again, the Redskins are undefeated in league play, and that really speaks well of the Redskins when you consider they went from December 19th to February 3rd without a home game.
And, just going back in memory, Don, I cannot remember a Frontier Conference team going undefeated in conference play. Maybe it's happened, and if so, they can call you on the morning show and let you know about it.
I sure can't remember it as well. Jenks, by the way, has only one regular season game left. That's at Broken Arrow on Friday. Union, meanwhile, has 2 home games left. Friday, they are hosting Sand Springs, and then next Monday, they'll play Owasso here at Union before they get ready for district play. We'll tell you about that as we move along here into the second half. Outside shot by Woods, no good. Rebound, Michael Johnson. His 6 points earned him a start of the second half, and he celebrates with the first basket here of the third quarter. He has 8 of the 16 Union points. He has really improved as a basketball player. We saw him a bit last year, but not nearly with the explosion that he has this season.
And that was demonstrated on that last basket, Don. That was a tremendous explosion, and he's doing it with such confidence. That's the thing you see in young kids as they come along. That confidence begins to develop.
He's certainly talented on the basketball floor, and some feel more so on the football floor, on the football field. Jenks turns it over. And Union has the ball back. Up by 3 is Rudy Garcia and Scott Paddock. Match wits here from the Union gym, where Union has led pretty much throughout. In fact, they have led throughout this game, but their biggest lead has been 4 points. Now by 3. After leading by 1 at halftime. Again, Ritter without a point yet. Gary without a point. Still doesn't after missed the baseline. Johnson with the follow and a foul.
Basketball games are won and lost on rebounding, and when you can get up here like Michael Johnson, just goes right up so strong, gets good position, makes an easy basket out of it.
Johnson to the line. Justin Roy checks out. Joe Lord checks in. Also, I should say, checking into the game is Matt Gastel, the 6'8 sophomore, number 15. For Jenks, and at the line, Johnson for a possible 3-point play. Johnson's free throw rims off. Rebound Gastel. So Michael Johnson, the leading scorer in the game with 10 points. It's a 5-point lead, the biggest of the game for Union. Butler with 5 points to lead Jenks scoring. Frazier with only 2. Blocked by Johnson. Frazier had a wide open layup on the left side. Johnson swats it away. Ritter has it. Pick for Wood. 15. The top of the key to Wood. He dishes to Gary. Drives the baseline. Runs over Rademeyer. They'll call the foul on the Jenks Trojan. That's the 3rd on the Jenks junior.
What a great block that Johnson made on the drive by Matt Frazier. Great block.
Gary, nice pick. Dean gets the inbound basket. Greg Dean gets his 2nd basket of the game. He's got 4 points. And it's 20 to 13. 7-point lead, biggest of the game for Union. Gastel at the baseline. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Up to Rademeyer. He loses it, gets trapped. In trouble, off to Butler. Butler penetrates all the way in. Then dishes out. Johnson got in front of him. They didn't want any part of Michael Johnson. Frazier out front to Butler. Butler guarded by Gary. Butler faked the reverse layup, then went in and missed the front court shot. And Dean collars the rebound. Trojans missed an easy shot there. 5:20 to go in the 3rd. Union with a 7-point lead. Nice defense. Rademeyer on Ritter. Ritter, great pass to Dean, and he traveled with it. Dean had a wide open shot underneath the basket. Couldn't handle the pass, traveled. Scott Paddock wants a timeout. Full timeout, 5:09 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And it's Union 20 and Jenks 13.
That was a great pass in there by Kevin Ritter. He penetrates into the lane and, just gets the ball into Dean. Dean, I think it surprised him. And sometimes when you catch the ball, and we get a good look at it on replay here, great pass, and he catches it and just gets too excited and travels before he gains complete control of it. But took a pretty easy basket away from him on his traveling violation.
Well, the Redskins have come out here in the 3rd quarter and opened up a 6-point lead, or 6 straight points. Just like the girls' game, wasn't it? Where Jenks came out and kind of took control to start the 2nd half, although Union fought back. Same thing here.
Well, a 7-point lead in a game, low-scoring game like this is extremely important. Union shooting 60% here in the 3rd period, so they haven't missed over a couple of shots. And most of that, I think you've got Michael Johnson, give him credit because he's done the job on both ends.
Butler gets the inbound pass, drives all the way coast to coast for Brett Butler, who's got 7 points. He took it upon himself to provide some senior leadership and cuts the deficit to 5. Union with the ball in a 2015 score. Again, the Redskins leading the conference in scoring. It's 74 a game, and they're well below that. Johnson has it low post. Swiped by Butler, who reached down, drives, gives it to Castell. The 6'8" sophomore running the floor, lays it in for the Trojans. 20-17.
And let's give some credit to Justin Roy in there. He was the one who started the turnover with his quick hands that ultimately led to the basket in there by Castell.
Again, the top 3 scores for Union have a total of 4 points. Gary and Ritter have been shut out. Woods has 4 points. And the foul on Butler, Brett Butler reaching in. That's his 2nd personal. And that'll be the 3rd team foul on Jenks. Michael Johnson takes a seat. John Shepard checks in. Inside, Gary. He got the basket. I think he inbounded the ball off the rear end of one of the players and then got the ball back. 22-17, Union by 5. Uh-oh, Rademeyer in trouble. He falls down. Frazier picks it up. Midway mark of the 3rd quarter, 5-point lead for Union. Jenks with the basketball.
And the Union fans wanting a traveling violation called.
Ritter on Rademeyer. Looks for the backdoor pass to Butler in the far corner. Grant double dribbled with it. He dribbled, lost it, started dribbling again. Scott Paddock says they fouled him over there. Man, they were grabbing his arm.
I tell you, Johnny Johnson's getting some help from the coaching benches.
.330 to go in the 3rd. 5-point lead for Union. They have the ball. Down low, Woods. Over Roy. Blocked by Roy. Frazier skies for the rebound and brings it out. Trojans on the run. Butler over Dean, and the number 11s collide. They'll call it on Butler of Jenks. That'll quickly be his 3rd.
And you kind of see that coming up there in the transition. You can see the positioning coming in. There's good position you can see by Dean, and not much doubt about a charging foul on Butler.
Ritter draws the double team, feeds Dean at the high post to Gary for 3. No. Rebound, Shepard. Up and in. Still looking for the first tray of the game, and isn't that unusual for them? But nevertheless, they've opened a 7-point lead, biggest of the game, 24-17. 2:45 to go in the 3rd.
And Jenks now is in a position where they're going to have to start putting some points on the board, maybe speed the tempo up a little bit.
They've been outscored in this quarter, 10-4. Rademeyer between the circles. Double team. Ritter flipped it to Dean, who flipped it back to Ritter into the forecourt. Ritter turns down the 3, penetrates, and gets fouled as he dished off to Dean underneath the basket. That'll be the 15th foul on Jenks. Foul on Rademeyer, and that's his 4th.
Kevin Ritter, once again, he had an opportunity to shoot the 3, and the defense came at him hard, so he goes on the floor and runs into traffic and does an excellent job of laying the basketball off.
Michael Johnson checks in for Greg Dean. Johnson's the game's leading scorer at 10 points off the bench tonight. They're going to let Rademeyer play with 4 personals. Now Scott Paddock is at the officials table, and he is asking something of Jeff Campbell on your left, talking to Johnny Johnson. Now Johnson comes back. I think he's questioning the foul was not on Rademeyer, 41.
Here we see a replay of Kevin Ritter and a penetration. He goes up and finds his teammate right across the line and just does a good job on it.
I think Scott Paddock is saying a moment ago a charging foul was whistled and they called it on Butler, but it was Butler that charged, and they might have called it on Rademeyer. I've got Rademeyer for 4 fouls, nevertheless, and I've got Butler for 3.
Well, in the final analysis, the official scorebook will rule.
Now they're going to change it. They're going to change it and give the foul a moment ago to Butler. And so take away the foul from Rademeyer. He's got 3. And apparently Butler has got 3. And Castell comes in for Rademeyer. I don't know what Scott Patting did, but I think he just... Now he's saying that's... I know. We'll figure it out. Kevin Ritter's first basket of the game. That I do know. Almost stolen. Frazier to Roy. Now they got the numbers advantage. And a lay in by Justin Roy cuts the 9-point lead down to 7.
You know, that was just a switch, just a trade out in baskets, but maybe Union was feeling that if they can just speed the tempo up a little bit, that they'll get Jenks to put the ball up and get out of the slower down style.
Minute 40 remaining in the third. Three-pointer Ritter, you know, in and out. Rebounded, tipped up by Castell of Jenks. And lost by Butler, but he bounced it off a couple of Redskins out of bounds. Last touched by Union, and Jenks has it underneath their basket to our left. 27 total points in the first half for the two teams.
You know, the big fellow in there, Matt Castell, the 6'8" sophomore, kept the ball alive until ultimately it comes up in Jenks' possession, but the big kid's playing pretty good tonight.
Butler, 2-on-1. Joe Lord off the glass and in. Nice feed from Butler, 26-21, and the Trojans have cut it to 5. A minute 15 remaining in the third.
Well executed 2-on-1, a great pass in there by Brent Butler.
Union riding a 7-game winning streak to the number 2 ranking in the state. Jenks a 4-game winning streak to the number 11 mark in the state in 6A. And Steve Gary goes baseline and gets his second basket of the third quarter. He's got 4 points in the game. Here's a basket underneath the Roy again. They're trading hoops.
Well, you get out of that trap and get the ball down the floor. Once you get it out of the trap, well, then you've got the numbers on your side.
Ritter tries to feed it to Scott Roberson, who's into the game for the first time since the first half. Ritter no-look pass down low, and Michael Johnson couldn't hang on to it, and out of bounds it goes. Off of Union.
And this is a big possession for Jenks. 28-23 in 37 seconds to go, Don. If they can get one down here, then that puts them back in real good shape going into fourth quarter.
Game's first three-pointer would be sweet here for the Trojans. We only had one three-pointer in the girls' game very early. I mean, we haven't had any three-point baskets. Only one in the 2 games so far. Frazier penetrates, and an easy hook from Ed Frazier. 6'1" senior who has already signed to go play at Pittsburgh State has 4 points, well below his 17-point average. Nevertheless, he cuts it to 3-point deficit. 28-25, 10 seconds left, now below 10 seconds. Gary has it, he loves to penetrate. Sky shot is good. With 2 seconds left, Gary with 6 points in the third quarter alone will go to the fourth quarter, and the second-ranked Redskins have opened a 5-point lead here heading to the fourth quarter. It's Hoopin' Tuesday from Union. Redskin basketball and the Trojans back after this.
You've heard about TCI's digital cable and want to know what it's all about? Digital cable provides you with more channels and convenience at a nominal price. We're excited to show you what digital cable has to offer. 36 additional channels, more pay-per-view options, and the Preview Navigator, where you can view the program guide at your own pace. For February's question of the month, here's what we want to know. Are you interested in digital cable? Call one of these numbers to cast your vote. Remember, your opinion counts.
Meerkats in the African savanna at the Tulsa Zoo. Open daily.
Do you have anybody named Credit cards at
Union with a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter, 30-25, and here you see a good move in there by Matt Frazier. He gets past his defensive out around the half court, and he just makes it look easy. And as Don said, he's going to Pittsburgh State. Don, he'll have a good career up there.
Yeah, he will. Gene Iba's the coach up there, and he'll fit in well in that format. Frazier from the corner, deep, got it. It's a deuce. He must have been on the line because it certainly looked like he was far enough. The Jenks Trojans beef a bit on the far corner as well, but his deuce cuts it to 3, 30-27. And now, JB, you got to think that the players that we've been looking for, Gary, who made that shot at the end of the quarter, Frazier makes a couple here, and Ritter will start showing up.
I just think you're right, Don. I think that they're going to come back out here and just regain their touch because the tempo is picking up some. And there's a lot of rhythm in basketball. And when you come in and do what Jenks has done to you, you really disrupt their rhythm.
Woods for 3, in and out, rebound Johnson. Fade away from 2 feet is good. Michael Johnson leading all scorers off the bench with 12 points, 6 in each half. It's a 5-point Union lead after they led by as many as 9 in the third quarter, thanks to a 6-0 run. Still looking again for the game's first 3-point basket. Frazier, the conference's leading scorer at 17 a game, flashes down low, nothing to it. Out front to Roy. Justin Roy has 6. Butler leads Jenks with 7 points. Matt Frazier was 6. Justin Roy was 6. Don't forget the job that the 6'8 sophomore Matt Castell did coming in the last quarter, get on a rebound and then a layup on a transition basket.
And he really did. He's a force inside. Because when you've got that kind of height and your arms are up, why you change the flight of ball, you change the arc, and he's going to be a good player.
Saw Jim Stacy talking to the head coach of Union, Rudy Garcia. Another coach on that bench is J.R. Rallo, former TU player, helping out Union for the second year. Frazier alone for the 3 ball, way off the mark, tipped out, and Gary has it for Union. Doesn't have the numbers. He takes it to the rack anyway. Drives over the player, no good, but the tip in by Shepard is good, and he has a half dozen. And Union has now opened up a 7-point margin. 6 minutes to go in the game.
And Shepard and Johnson have really been the difference, I think, in this ball game. The play they have done inside.
Joe Lord out front to Butler. Nice fake by Rademeyer off the glass. He got Johnson up in the air, and then Rademeyer puts it home.
And you know what? That fake was so good. It was just a little one. It wasn't a big, exaggerated, just a quick jerk, and Johnson goes, and then Rademeyer makes it look easy after that. And you still have a 2-possession ball game.
.5:20 to go. Union has the ball out front. They're sitting on it as Jenks is in the zone. The 2-1-2. Now they try to alley-oop. It's tipped up. Ritter has it for Union, and so they'll work it back out again. And Gary will stand at the half-court circle again, trying to get a flip down low, and he does into the corner for Ritter. Ritter guarded by Frazier. That's an interesting matchup.
That is. Those kids played on the same AAU team together, and they'll go at it.
They know each other well. Here's a shot from the baseline. It's good by Union. Osric Woods gets it. Lord gets it at the other end, misses the lay-in, but gets fouled. It's 36-29, a 7-point advantage for Union. The foul is called on the Redskins' Kevin Ritter, and would you believe it? That's the first team foul on Union in the second half.
Kevin goes right across under him and disrupts him enough that he doesn't get it down. That's a good clean foul.
4:40 to go in the game, and the first team foul on Union as Joe Lord spins the free throw in. He's got 3 points in the game. Lord played quite a bit as a sophomore a year ago. That one won't go. Tipped and controlled by Union. So it's 36-30. Man-to-man defense now. Brett Butler on Gary. Woods guarded by Rademeyer. Now it's Joe Lord on Ritter. Ritter takes it to him. Dishes off to Johnson. Ritter will set up the offense again. We have hit the midway mark of the fourth quarter. Union leading by 6. Ritter to Gary for 3. Rims off. Johnson tried to tip it back to him. Nothing doing, and Butler has it for Jenks. He's trapped. Gets it past him. Goes all the way in. Blocked from behind by Johnson, and they'll call the foul on Michael Johnson. You don't think those two didn't go at it in the football season, do you? Johnson, a wide receiver, and Butler, a defensive back.
And I tell you, Brett's going in there with it. He's not backing off a second. And at this point in the game, I think you have to do just exactly what both coaches are doing. You picked up the tempo, and you've just released them a little bit to play a little more with a little more aggressiveness on the offensive end. Butler is 2 of 5 from the line and has 8 points to lead the Trojans. Gets another. Got them both. 36-32. Union with the ball in a 4-point lead. They've led throughout this game. They led by 1 at halftime. Led by as many as 9. Now up by 4. Michael Johnson has been the story in this game off the bench with 12 points. Timeout. It's a full timeout. A 1-minute break coming up here with 3:37 to go in the game. And Union with a 4-point lead and the basketball. Well, I'm sure Rudy Garcia is telling his players right now, Don, that from this point on, we've got a 4-point lead. That's still a 2-possession situation. You're still going to have to score, but just don't try to do anything heroic. Make everything come your way and stay in your offense, stay in your game plan, and most importantly, hit those free throws down the stretch.
Hope you'll catch the replay of these 2 games, Union and Jenks, Frontier Conference rivals, Wednesday night. Tomorrow night at 7:30, and again Saturday after the City Council meeting at 8:30 here on TCI Cable Vision of Tulsa. It's Hoopin' Tuesday. Don King, J.B. Haney with you from the Union Gym, where the Redskins lead the Trojans by 4 at 36-32. And also, don't forget, another TCI game Friday. It's Bigsby at Kelly. Bigsby at Kelly coming up Friday to close out the schedule on TCI. For those listening on Tulsa Sports Radio, AM 1430, we appreciate John Marble's help tonight producing on the radio end. John will join me for a couple of Union broadcasts later as we get into the postseason for the Redskins on AM 1430. And you saw the Kelly Comet game Friday on TCI. Some of the Comet action this season has been brought to you on Sports Radio AM 1300. So some prep basketball. By the way, the Kelly-Claremore replay will be the following Wednesday and Saturday. Redskins inbound the hoop. Inbound the basketball, rather, with 3:30 to go, leading by 4. Looking for another hoop. Again, they have shut Ritter down with only 2 points in the game. Michael Johnson leading the way off the bench with 12. Woods was 6. Gary was 6. John Shepard was 6. Jenks being led by Brett Butler's 9 points. Matt Frazier, the league's leading scorer, has been held to 6, far below his 17-point average. And it has been a defensive struggle, to say the least, with 3 minutes to go in the game, and Union leading 36-32. Remember, the Redskins are averaging twice this many points a game at 74. Here's Frazier with the steal against Ritter. Spins, lays it in, blocked by Johnson, but they'll call a foul on Johnson, and that'll be his 3rd.
That's just a great steal in there by number 4, Matt Frazier from Jenks. And you can see gets the pressure there, makes a little spin move, and goes on up strong, gets the foul, but he really kind of took things into his own hands, made a great play.
3 great plays right there. Ritter to keep Frazier making him have to spin and giving his teammates enough time to come up with the block as Johnson did.
Well, this is going to be a nail biter before we get out of here, Don.
Frazier hits the first one. Johnson, who committed the foul, got the rebound. We're down to a 3-point game, and Jenks have scored the last 4 points for them from the free throw line. Dean out to Gary. 2:37 remaining. Down low, Dean goes over the man, scores, and gets fouled. Rademeyer. Let's take a look.
You see that great big drop step that Greg Dean, the 6'3" senior, Knew just exactly where he was on the floor.
Dean with 6 points, and Rademeyer's committed his 5th personal foul. Matt Gastel will come in. Big 3-point play right there at the 2:34 mark by Greg Dean, and it was a foul all the way. Dean is so strong, his upper body is so strong, he can finish plays like that. He has 6 points tonight, as you see, 0 for 1 from the line, and he misses that one, and Johnson pushed up and got the rebound. 5-point lead, and the Trojans have the ball. Under 2.5 to go. Almost stolen by Roy. Steve Gary brings it across the timeline. He brings it back into the Union front court, guarded by Frazier. Gary, past Frazier, gets the pick, puts it up over Butler and draws the foul, and Steve Gary goes to the line for 2.
The great thing about these situations, Don, in high school basketball, and here you see the drive in there by Steve Gary and the foul coming up there by Butler, but these kids are competing, and that's what you like to see. They really came to compete. I guess that's the 5th foul on Brett Butler, so Scott Paddock has to go back to his bench.
And he'll bring in David Reed, number 3. Reed's a 5'10" sophomore. So Scott forced to use a couple of sophomores here in the last 2:05 of this game. At the line, Steve Gary. Well below his average tonight. Has the free throw, though. And he has 7 points, averaging 14, which is 4th best in the league.
And this is a big basket because it puts it to a 3-possession situation.
Next free throw, nothing but net. 40-33. Reed. Double team, half court, throws it away. Woods steals it for Union. And then has Frazier block it off the glass. Out of bounds. Michael Johnson tried to fly out of bounds with the basketball and called timeout. But Johnny Johnson said, no, you stepped on the baseline.
Like I said, they are competing. The fans are competing now. What a great finish.
22nd timeout now. Oh, well, Johnny Johnson calls a timeout himself. Cup was thrown on the floor, and so he'll come over and take care of it.
Do not, ladies and gentlemen, do not throw anything over the floor.
There we see Matt Frazier going up and just creating total havoc. He didn't block the shot, but he's up there where they had to pitch it off, and subsequently it goes out of bounds, and Jenks ends up with it.
Frazier brings it across. Should somebody throw something on the floor from the Union side again? Johnny Johnson has alluded to a technical will be called.
And he will do it.
Double dribble on Justin Roy out front on Jenks. Key turnover against the Trojans with 1:35 remaining. Jenks down by 7. Redskins with the basketball. They led by 1, or led by 4 after 1. Led by 1 at halftime. Led by 5 after 3. And now lead by 7. Ritter out front, and again, Kevin with only 2 points in the game. Still looking for his 200th career three-pointer. Pass. Gary in out of control. Frazier has it. Ritter got ball, but a foul called on Ritter, and that'll be Kevin's 3rd personal. Looked like he got ball. Let's see.
Well, it looked to me like he got fouled from behind by Michael Johnson. But nevertheless, Matt had to do what he was doing. He had to take the ball, draw a foul, get a basket, or try to get both maybe.
2 free throws for Frazier with the clock stopped at 1:10.
Jenks just hasn't had a good night shooting from the line or from the field percentage-wise.
They're below 50% at the line, and that's killed them tonight. Frazier has 8 points. 40-34. They're still not out of this one. With 1 minute to go. 1:05. Gary. 18 fouls on Jenks. That's the night on Jenks and that'll be the second on Frazier.
And with two guards like Gary and Ritter, both of them excellent free throw shooters, and they're going to be handling the ball. Yeah. So it makes it very tough to catch up in the closing seconds when you have two good free throw shooters.
Gary, Ritter, Woods out front, down low, Dean and Johnson. I don't recall that Michael Johnson is a very good free throw shooter. He might be the one of the 5 to foul. Gary's at the line, though.
But he probably won't have the basketball.
Probably not.
And then if you go foul him, you're flirting with a 2-shot foul and the ball out of bounds.
Gary hits the first. Second on its way. It cradles in. He's 4 of 4 from the line. He's in double figures for 10 points. It's an 8-point lead. Reed to Lord to Frazier. 50 seconds left in the game. Frazier left-hand dribble, gets it swiped by Gary. Union has it, and a 20-second timeout called by the Redskins. 41 seconds remaining. Union has the ball at an 8-point lead at 42-34. Well, if you're Scott Paddock, what are you telling your club?
Well, there's not a whole lot you can do here. You're going to have to foul. You're going to have to score, called timeout. And the thing of it is, when you foul, you're going to have to foul Ritter, or you're going to have to foul Gary. And again, both of them are excellent free throw shooters. Gary's already shown us this, and so it just makes it real tough. You still got to try, and hopefully maybe they would pass it to someone else, and you can foul them. But it just doesn't look very good at this point for the Trojans.
Free throw shooting tonight for Jenks. 8 of 17. You're not going to win many games, close games like this, if you're 8 out of 17 from the line. Ritter has it. Frazier almost got the steal. 35 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Ritter to Brad Roberson, who's into the game now. For Steve Gary. Jenks melting the clock to 10 seconds. They still have it. Almost stolen. Ritter still has it. And no foul called. Ritter down low to Roberson. Flips it up, no good, and that's the end of the game. So apparently Scott Paddock told his squad, just go out there and see if you can't get the steal and don't worry too much about it. Union much better from the line in this game, as they were 6 of 9 from the free throw line tonight. Jenks 8 of 17. So the final is Union 42 and Jenks 34.
And Don, I think that really, I think both coaching staff did an excellent job in this basketball game. And when you take a look at what Jenks had to overcome, and really decidedly the underdog coming in, and Scott Paddock and his staff had an excellent game plan. They were able to hold to it, and yet you look over on the other side of the ledger, and Rudy Garcia was able to play with it. He didn't panic, and finally his big men came through on the boards down toward the end of the third period and opening of the fourth period, and they walk away with another win and stay undefeated in conference play. And we really do have to check on that. They're 14-0 in conference to see if anyone has gone through. Back when Bartlesville had some of their great teams, they may have gone through it, but this has been such an excellent year for the Union Redskin basketball team.
Again, the Jenks Trojans will face Stillwater a week from Friday in the opening round of the regional. That will be at Memorial. That's where the Trojans were a year ago. And also Memorial and Ponca City will be in that regional as well. Meanwhile, for Union, they'll host their own regional. Bartlesville against Muskogee in the first game a week from Friday. And then Union takes on conference foe Sand Springs. Meanwhile, Union has to face Sand Springs on Friday, and then Owasso this coming Monday to close out what now is an 18-2 campaign, number 2 in the state. Jenks falls to 15-6 after winning 4 in a row. Their last regular season game again at Broken Arrow before they go to Memorial. The girls game earlier, there it is. Jenks beating Union 48-40. That game saw 11 lead changes and 10 ties in that contest. Might mention the leading scorers in that game for Jenks. Allison Seal with 14 points for Jenks. For Union, 11 points for Andrea Parker. Leading scorers in this game for Union, Michael Johnson off the bench with 12, Steve Gary with 10, and for the Trojans, they were led by Brett Butler with 9 points. Don't forget another game coming up on TCI Cablevision of Tulsa on Friday. That'll be Bishop Kelly hosting Claremore, and we hope you'll catch us for that. Again, it is Union and Jenks here this evening, where Jenks girls beat Union and the Union boys beat Jenks. Also on the radio side, our thanks to John Marble for producing this on Tulsa Sports Radio AM 1430. More Union basketball coming your way on 1430 later with postseason play. So for J.B. Haney and Mike Ziegenhorn from Channel 8, Don King saying good night from Union Redskin Gymnasium.
So I've been